What's up, everyone, and welcome back to SoccerViza's channel. My name is Joe Funicello, and I am the founder of SoccerViza. So, in our last video, if you didn't watch it, make sure you go check out. I was named head coach of Limon FC in the Costa Rican Premier League for their last game, and they're facing relegation. This video will talk about how that experience went. Did we get relegated? Did we stay up? So make sure you smash that like button and hit that subscribe button, as it helps us a lot on our journey. And for all the aspiring professional coaches out there, there's a lot of information here that will hopefully help you on your road to becoming a professional soccer coach. The experiences, the things I went through, I'm going to share them, so hopefully they help you. As you saw in the last video, or if you didn't see, my business partner Cecilia was contacted by Limon FC.
Because of the loss, they are firing their coach. The players are not responding to the coach, and they're very unhappy. So the call was, why doesn't Joe come in and coach for the last game, or maybe possibly more, obviously.
Basically, they've been in the relegation zone for most of the season, and the team has not been responding to their coach. So with one game left, well, they need to win one game and 2 games if they don't win it, meaning if they win their next game against Heredia, that I would be the coach for, they'd be safe from relegation. If they were to lose it, they would have to play Sporting, who's right above them in the relegation zone, in 2 games, home and away, to see who goes down, because one club goes down. So, how did this start? Well, I knew I had to still coach our development center team, or our training camp team, because the guys came here to get training. So the only time I could have training with the Limon team was 7 in the morning, and then our development center team would train after. So it meant a lot of mornings of waking up at 4 a.m. to drive up to Limon, set up the training, execute it, get my butt back down here, and work with our development center teams. And it started off amazing. So when I was contacted by the club, or Cecilia was, they told me I would be the head coach. So when I went there, I went with my coaching staff here from the development center, and I went straight with my discipline, my attitude, my reason for us having to stick together, because I'm big on chemistry, I'm big on family, and it went amazing. The players responded well. You could see that they were down, but they responded well. And their current assistant coach, who was with the first team, he's a friend of mine, and he didn't know that I got named head coach because the club didn't tell him. They thought he was going to be a head coach and I would be assisting him. So for the first 5 days, I ran training as a head coach, because that's what I was under the impression of, and that's what the club had told me, and that was the agreement that I had with the club. Only to come find out that, again, the assistant coach, who's a great guy, was the one who was also told, or he was also told, that he would be head coach. So for the first 5 days, I ran the sessions, and it was great because they heard a new voice, and I could see they had life. But then after the 5th day, the assistant, or the head coach, who was with the team already, came up to me and said, "Joe, thank you for running the session, but now I'll take over." And I was a little confused, and this isn't in football. A lot of administrations, a lot of teams aren't. The sporting director and the chairman are in different wavelengths than the coach and the team sometimes. It's crazy how it works in the professional game, but it's a common thing. So when I heard that, yes, I was upset, because I'm a very passionate guy and I'm not an assistant coach. But I also knew if I argued it, then the team was already at a low point, so it probably add more confusion and more miscommunication to the team. So I resumed the role as a co-head coach, or assisting head coach. And I ran the sessions, but I wasn't on the touchline for the games, meaning I was like in the bench and I couldn't stand up and give the direction I wanted to, which was very hard for me, because as a head coach, I don't like being number 2. But it was a great learning experience. So I brought my coaching staff from the development center. I brought Elmer Umanya, who's my assistant, and I brought Fernando Patterson, who's the goalkeeper coach there. And the coaching staff there welcomed us, minus 2 people. The goalkeeper coach, Patterson, came in to help him. he saw Patterson come in, he left the first day that we were there, so that was a little bit uncomfortable. And then there was another coach there that wasn't sure about me coming in, so he left as well. So it was kind of rocky, but the players didn't see it, and we acted like nothing happened. That sometimes happens in football when a new team takes over. People aren't happy, or new coaches take over. The old coaches are part of the old regime, and they weren't happy. But whatever, we kept going. So the team responded very well to me. I'd like to think I'm a player's coach. As a player, I never really had a coach put his arm around me or show that he cared about how I felt and how passionate I was. So right away, I made the players understand that I'm strict, but that I'm there to help them. I'm part of the family. I spoke about family a lot. It was funny, actually. It's an American thing to do, but at the end of training, we say 1, 2, 3, family for SoccerViza, for our development center team and everything. And I started doing that with them. And the first day, they were like, what the hell is this? And by 3 to 4 days in, at the end of training, if I didn't bring them in and said, family, they'd be like, coach, what about family? So it was awesome to see that chemistry technique work. I also added things like no chains or jewelry. You don't need to wear that to training. Before training starts, as you walk out of the locker room, make sure you shake all the staff's hands, whether it's the groundskeeper, kit man, or head coach. So we created chemistry right away, and it was awesome to see. Traveling to the first game, and it was the must-win game, right? If we win that, then we're safe. And we played Heredia. Heredia is one of the top 3 teams in Costa Rica. So you have Sorpresa and Alajuela, who are tied in size, and then probably Heredia is number 3. And in that bus ride, I got to sit with the co-head coach, assistant head coach, to the old regime, whoever you want to say, one of my friends, and speak to him about his goals. And it was clear that he'd always been an assistant, and now he wanted to have this go to be head coach. And, again, I spoke about that even though I feel like I was the head coach and I did a lot to get the team ready, it was only right, because he had been with the club for so long and a former player, that I let him take the role. And why? Well, because he wasn't informed by the club that he would be the assistant. He thought he would take over as the head coach. So it wasn't his fault, it wasn't my fault. And I saw it as an opportunity to sit back and learn. It sucked, because I think if I would have taken the reign on the sideline, I think the team would have responded well, because it was a new voice. But sometimes you have to make the people around you better, and that's what I did in that case. So we went into that game, and I sat on the bench as he directed, and the team didn't perform well, didn't tactically do the things we asked, and we ended up losing. But one thing was sure, that they played with fire. Monkeys. One thing was sure, they had a bite to them. So even though we lost, the passion was there. You could tell they wanted to die for each other. You could tell the chemistry was there. So we went back to the training ground, and now we knew we faced 2 games against Sporting, and they were, again, in the relegation zone with us. We had 2 games, 1 home, 1 away, and these two games would decide whether or not the team would stay up or not. Now, with all the confusion on who the head coach was, I wasn't going to be able to commit to training every day with this team, because I had our development center and training team here, and they're our priority. They came here and trust that I would coach them, and I couldn't be missing trainings or not having good trainings due to me being, tied to Limon. So I couldn't attend all the trainings, but the team would text me, players would text me like, coach, we need you here. We heard what happened. We want you here. And me and my coaching staff looked at each other and said, because it was a 45-minute drive every morning, and said, we preach family. So no matter what happened here, we have to go there and finish the job, and we did. And I was assistant coach for the last 2 games. We lost the first leg and tied the second, so the team is facing relegation. But due to the Costa Rican Federation not following FIFA guidelines, they are suing the Federation for impractical season or not a good season. And if they win and they have a good chance of winning the case, they would stay in the Costa Rican Premier League and not get relegated. While I was training Limon, the team here continued to operate or the training center can continue to operate as it was. I even got to bring some of our players from here in to train with the professional team, so they got to experience that, which was awesome. We switched them every day, so they got to join in training, which was amazing for them and the experience. And that's why I also took the job, because it was giving these, experience is everything, and giving these guys an opportunity to train with a professional team and to add something different to the professional team was awesome. And I got to learn a lot about the Costa Rican culture and football. The discipline is a big thing that they lack here. So coming in and adding that discipline at first was hard, but then they were like, wow, someone cares and someone wants us to walk a straight line so that we perform better, and they really bit into that, so it was awesome. So now we'll move forward and build our professional team. Limon will always be, I'm a Limonese. I'm officially a Limonese, meaning I'm on the books as a professional coach with that team, so they'll always hold a place in my heart. But now it's time to build something bigger and stronger. So, thank you so much for watching. If you're a professional head coach or an aspiring professional head coach, remember, it's not always about being in the driver's seat. Sometimes it's about sitting on the side and watching things, and that's how you grow. Your time will come, and when it does, mine already did as a professional head coach, and I will have more jobs and more opportunities to be a head coach. But sometimes you have to do what's right for the team and for the club, and take a back seat. And when you do that, if you do it with the right mind, you will learn so much and you'll grow as a coach. Thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you smash that like button and hit that subscribe button, as it helps us a lot on our journey to build a professional soccer team here in Costa Rica.